Hello, and welcome back. It's great to have you here for Chapter 2 of our journey to mastering British English. In Chapter 1, we dipped our toes into the world of British English, exploring its global significance and unique charm. We learned about its historical roots and its influence on various aspects of life, from literature and film to business and everyday communication. In this chapter, we'll be rolling up our sleeves and getting down to the nitty-gritty of British English. We'll explore the essential building blocks of the language, focusing on grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation. Don't worry, we'll keep things simple and engaging. Get ready to expand your vocabulary with common phrases and idioms that will make you sound like a true Brit. We'll also delve into the nuances of British pronunciation, helping you understand those subtle differences in how words are spoken. By the end of this chapter, you'll have a solid foundation in the core elements of British English, empowering you to communicate more confidently and effectively in a variety of everyday situations. So, let's dive in and unlock the secrets of this fascinating language together. Grammar might sound intimidating, but it's really just the set of rules that help us structure sentences correctly. Don't worry, we're not going to bombard you with complicated jargon. Instead, we'll focus on a few key grammar points that are particularly important in British English. One key difference you'll notice is the use of present perfect versus simple past. In British English, we often use the present perfect to talk about something that happened in the past but has a connection to the present. For example, I've eaten breakfast implies that you're not hungry now because you've recently had breakfast. Another important aspect is the use of prepositions. British English has some specific preposition usage that might differ from other varieties of English. For instance, we often say at the weekend instead of on the weekend. These small but significant differences can make a big impact on your fluency. Lastly, we'll touch upon the use of articles, and the. British English has specific rules for using articles, and mastering them will significantly enhance your grammatical accuracy. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to make mistakes and learn from them. Now that we've covered some basic grammar, let's move on to something a bit more fun. Everyday expressions. British English is full of colourful and often quirky phrases that add a touch of personality to our language. Learning these expressions will not only make you sound more fluent, but also give you a deeper understanding of British culture. One common phrase you'll hear is "Bob's your uncle," which basically means "there you go," or it's as simple as that. It's a versatile expression that can be used in a variety of situations. For example, just add a pinch of salt, give it a stir, and Bob's your uncle. You've got yourself a delicious soup. Another useful phrase is "not my cup of tea," which means something isn't to your liking. For instance, you might say, "Opera's not really my cup of tea. I prefer listening to rock music." Don't worry, we won't make you drink any actual tea. As you immerse yourself in British culture, you'll encounter countless other expressions that add colour and nuance to the language. Keep a notebook handy to jot down new phrases and their meanings. Pronunciation is another crucial aspect of mastering any language, and British English is no exception. While you don't need to sound exactly like a native speaker, paying attention to certain pronunciation features will significantly improve your clarity and fluency. One key difference between British and American English lies in the pronunciation of the letter R. In British English, we generally only pronounce the R when it comes before a vowel sound. For example, we pronounce the R in red and around, but not in car or park. Another important point is the way we stress syllables in words. British English often places stress on different syllables, compared to American English. For example, the word address is stressed on the second syllable in British English, address, while in American English, it's stressed on the first syllable, address. Lastly, pay attention to the intonation patterns in British English. Intonation refers to the rise and fall of our voice as we speak. Mastering the nuances of British intonation will make you sound more natural and engaging. Section 5, Practicing the Essentials Quick Quizzes. Now that we've covered some essential grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation points, let's put your knowledge to the test with a few quick quizzes. Don't worry, these quizzes are just for fun and to help you remember what you've learned. Quiz 1, Grammar. Choose the correct preposition. 1, I'm going to the cinema Friday evening. On, at, in. 2, we're having dinner at my parents' house tonight. At 2, in. 3, she's arriving London tomorrow morning. In, at, on. Quiz 2. Vocabulary. Match the British English expression to its meaning. 1, Bob's your uncle. A, it's not my favourite. 2, not my cup of tea. B, it's as simple as that. 3, over the moon. C, extremely happy. Quiz 3, pronunciation. Listen to the following words and identify which syllable is stressed. 1, water. 2, garage. 3, computer. Section 6. Delving deeper, exploring British culture. Language and culture are deeply intertwined, and understanding British culture will give you a richer appreciation for the nuances of the language. British culture is incredibly diverse, shaped by centuries of history, tradition, and global influences. From the iconic red telephone boxes and double-decker buses to the grandeur of Buckingham Palace and the rolling hills of the countryside, Britain is a country brimming with charm and character. Exploring British literature, music, film, and cuisine will provide you with a deeper understanding of the people, their values, and their way of life. Don't be afraid to immerse yourself in British culture by attending local events, visiting museums and art galleries, or simply striking up conversations with people you meet. You'll find that Brits are generally a friendly and welcoming bunch, always happy to share their culture with those who are genuinely interested. Section 7. Beyond the basics, reading and listening practice. Now that you've grasped the basics of British English, it's time to take your skills to the next level through regular reading and listening practice. Immersing yourself in the language will help you internalize grammar rules, expand your vocabulary, and develop a natural feel for the rhythm and flow of British English. Start by reading simple English books, newspapers, or online articles. Choose topics that interest you, whether it's sports, fashion, travel, or current events. As you read, pay attention to sentence structure, vocabulary usage, and the overall tone and style of the writing. Listening to British English is equally important. Tune into British radio stations, podcasts, or watch British TV shows and movies. Don't worry if you don't understand every word at first. Focus on grasping the general meaning and try to pick up new words and phrases. Section 8. Putting it all together, real-world scenarios. Learning a language is all about being able to use it in real-life situations. So let's put your newly acquired British English skills to the test with a few common scenarios you might encounter while travelling or living in the UK. Scenario 1. Ordering food at a restaurant. Imagine you're at a cozy pub in London, ready to order a traditional Sunday roast. You can confidently approach the waiter and say, "Excuse me, I'd like the roast beef, please, and could I have a pint of bitter too?" Scenario 2, asking for directions. You're strolling through Edinburgh's charming streets, trying to find the castle. Don't hesitate to ask a local, "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the castle, please?" Remember to smile and be polite. Scenario 3, making small talk. You're at a party and want to strike up a conversation with someone new. You could start by saying, "Hello, lovely weather we're having, isn't it?" Also, "How do you know the host?" Keep the conversation light and engaging. Section 9. Until next time, continuing your language journey. Congratulations on reaching the end of Chapter 2. You've now gained a solid foundation in the essential elements of British English. Remember, language learning is a journey, not a destination. The key is to practice regularly, stay curious, and embrace every opportunity to use your new skills. In the next chapter, we'll delve even deeper into the world of British English, exploring more advanced grammar concepts, expanding your vocabulary with idiomatic expressions, and refining your pronunciation even further. Until then, keep practicing, stay motivated, and enjoy the journey.